I died on my 30th birthday, but when I opened my eyes, I was 18 again, and the person who killed me was smiling beside me. This was not just a dream, it was my reality now. I had been given a second chance, but why? And how could I trust anyone when the person I loved was my killer? I had so many questions, but the most important one was, could I prevent my death this time? The memories of my past life were still fresh, but everything felt different now. The school I went to, the friends I had, even my family seemed changed. But one thing was certain, I would not let history repeat itself. I was determined to find out who killed me and why, and to change the course of my life. But, how do I start? And what secrets was my killer hiding? As I started my new life, everything seemed normal at first. I went back to school, reconnected with old friends, and tried to live a normal life. But, the memories of my past life kept haunting me. I remembered the day I died, the people I loved, and the person who killed me. I tried to push those thoughts away, but they lingered in my mind. I decided to investigate my own death, to find out what happened and who was responsible. I started by looking into my past, talking to people who knew me back then. My classmates seemed friendly, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that someone was watching me. I met with my old tutor, who seemed nice, but I noticed she was nervous around me. I began to suspect that everyone around me was hiding something. The more I dug, the more questions I had. Who could I trust? And what secrets were they keeping from me? I knew I had to be careful, but I was determined to uncover the truth. As I walked through the school hallways, I felt like an outsider, like I didn't belong. But, I was determined to fit in, to make friends, and to find out what happened to me. I joined the school club, participated in class, and tried to make friends. But, the feeling of being watched never went away. I started to feel like I was in danger, like someone was waiting for me to make a wrong move. And then, I saw him, the person who killed me. He was standing in the corner of the classroom, smiling at me. My heart stopped, and I felt like I was going to pass out. But, I didn't. I stood up, and I walked towards him. I had to know why he killed me, and what he wanted from me now. As I approached him, I felt a mix of emotions, fear, anger, and confusion. Why did he kill me? And what did he want from me now? He seemed calm, collected, and even friendly. But, I knew that was just a facade. I decided to play along, to pretend that I didn't know who he was. I started talking to him, asking him questions, and trying to get to know him. He seemed normal, but I could sense that there was something underneath. I started to investigate him, to look into his past. I talked to his friends, his family, and even his enemies. And what I found out shocked me. He was not who he seemed to be. He had a dark past, full of secrets and lies. And I was starting to suspect that he was not the only one. There were others, people who seemed innocent, but were hiding secrets. My classmates, my friends, even my family, everyone seemed suspicious. I felt like I was living in a thriller, where everyone was a suspect. And I was the detective, trying to solve the mystery of my own death. But the more I dug, the more complicated it got. I started to question my own sanity, my own memories. Was I really dead? Or was it all just a dream? The lines between reality and fantasy started to blur, and I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. But I knew I had to keep going, to find out the truth. And so, I continued my investigation, following every lead, every clue. And what I found out next changed everything. As I dug deeper, I found out that my killer was not just a person, it was a group of people. They were all connected, all part of a larger conspiracy. And I was just a pawn in their game. I felt a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, and betrayal. Why did they do it? And what did they want from me? I decided to confront them, to face them head-on. I gathered all the evidence I had, all the clues, and all the secrets. And I went to the school, to the place where it all started. I stood in front of them, my heart pounding, my voice shaking. And I told them everything. I told them about my investigation, about the secrets I uncovered. And I told them that I knew the truth. They seemed shocked, surprised, and even scared. But I didn't back down. I stood my ground, and I demanded answers. And what they told me changed everything. They told me that I was not just a victim, I was a key player. I was the one who could change the course of events, who could prevent the tragedy from happening again. And I realized that my rebirth was not just a coincidence, it was a chance to make things right. I had the power to change my fate, to rewrite my story. And I was determined to do just that. I learned that life is precious, and that every moment counts. I learned that forgiveness is key, and that holding grudges can destroy us. And I learned that love can conquer all, even death. My story is not just a story, it's a lesson. It's a reminder that we all have the power to change our lives, to make things right. And it's a message of hope, a message that tells us that no matter what happens, we can always start again. So, let's make the most of our lives, let's cherish every moment, and let's never give up on love. Because in the end, love is what truly matters.